Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
I
I
think
feel like
that's
a lot of artists can take that away with. If you guys ever get a version, take that one piece of advice from Becca Hatch.
And I have no fucking idea what I'm doing. No, literally, I'm not even
Well,
lying.
no, I mean, I wouldn't have any idea what I'm doing. Like, that's insane. Like,
No.
that's so crazy.
Oh, thanks, Jamie.
No worries, man. Just batteries.
Ah, beautiful. All right, well, let's just jump right in. Give
Yeah.
us the intro, Jamie.
What up, guys?
It's been a while.
Well,
actually.
it has been a while.
So
It has
what
been
do
a
I
while.
say?
Welcome back to Fresh and Zesty.
Yes.
Bam, bam. Where we give you the tips and shit to get famous.
Also tricks, but facts, but
Tricks and
tips.
and shit.
It's been like a month.
It's been a month. I've forgotten
Yeah,
everything,
sorry.
guys. Trust
Yeah,
me. Today, we have with us the lovely, the amazing Becca Hatch. What's up, my guy? How you doing?
Good, I'm good. I'm
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Chilling.
Thank you for coming.
It's
Thank you
okay,
for joining us.
anytime. Thanks for having me.
Yes. I can't believe you said you were up very late last night.
Yes.
So you were
Party
performing
animal.
at Opera House?
Yeah. I did backing vocals and I featured on like some songs for Ziggy Ramo.
Hectic.
Yeah, so he performed his whole album on like a live stream
Oh, man.
at the Opera House. Yeah,
Well, that
it was
would've been-
crazy.
Was it in the main theater?
Oh no,
Or
I
was
think
it
it was
in
in
one
the
of the side
Joan Sutherland
Okay, yeah,
Theatre.
cool.
It's like one of the main ones, but
Yeah.
yeah, and he had like a 10-piece band with like strings, like brass, everything. It was crazy.
That would've
Wow.
been-
And they were
Yeah.
allowed that with the COVID
Yeah, so it was like
stuff?
Yeah, it was like us. I was like behind the panels, like you know the panels that put like on drums and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they were like, spit barrier. So they didn't want me to like sing and then like spit on people. So I had to have
Wow.
that. And Milan had that. And then they had the like strings and stuff like all up in the seats.
Yeah, right.
So they were like right up the top with like lights in them. So that it was like they were singing so far, like they were like playing so far away from
Yeah.
us. We were like performing to them.
Probably
Yeah.
a good idea because I don't know if have you ever
Yeah.
seen the slow motion, like the super slow mos of people singing, and it's just like
Spit everywhere.
it's like just this like slow mo of just spit in people's face when people are like
Yeah.
it's horrible. It's like a horror movie in itself. So every single person had a dividing thing for you guys, was it?
It was me, and then there was like keys by themselves, and then the drums had it, and then there was like bass by themselves, like without it, and then like Milan
bass players.
was like another BB, so she had it as well. So it was like
Sure.
yeah.
Anybody who was like actually singing.
yeah, anyone who think yeah, it was alright.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's pretty
That's
cool that
good.
they're doing stuff because I
Yeah.
thought that would have been, especially music. It seems like that's the quickest thing to get shut down with this COVID.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, goodbye live scene temporarily.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, temporarily. Yeah.
It's a long temporary.
Yeah, it's very, very long.
But that's cool. And what was that like performing was that your first time performing at Opera House?
No, I've like last year I did a Vivid show with Briggs.
Oh,
So I
man.
like played my own set, which was freaking crazy. It's the first time I've ever done that.
Oh, that's right. you told
Yeah,
me,
no, and then but when I was younger, I used to do like choir when I was like a little
Oh,
kid.
it's like your second
yeah,
house.
Me too.
Yeah. So I used to like always be there and like learning like sight reading. Like yeah.
That's mad.
Yeah, so funny.
Yeah. The Opera House is such a nice spot to perform.
I couldn't even tell you what it looks like inside. It's been that long since
It
I've
looks
been
like
in.
the Virgin like lounge, like inside.
Yeah, right.
Interesting.
Like you know like where you go and like sit. Like,
yeah.
Oh, I'm not as important as you. so-
Oh no. No, like the actual
Fancy.
like if you walk in and it's like where the workers and like staff and everything.
Oh, you mean like the backstage area?
like the it's
Like
just
the green rooms and stuff like that?
like not just the green rooms, just like the whole shared space. It was like they have like cafe and then like the seats.
Oh,
and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah, like the seats, it all just looks like a Virgin Lounge or
True.
something.
They do look a
It
bit
does,
like flight
eh?
seats.
Yeah, like a flight. Yeah, it does, eh?
Well, yeah, because they're like
Thank you
all
for coming.
connected.
Yeah,
And they'll just
then-
have like the little bits at the top that aren't connected. So it's just,
Yeah,
yeah. So true. Oh, man, that's so true. Oh, that's awesome. Where's, so far, where has been the best place that you've performed?
probably like
Or like for you anyway?
the biggest show I've ever played was probably like State of Origin
Oh, wow.
with
That's pretty big.
with Briggs. Yeah. That wasn't my show though. That was like I was just like featuring in it. But that was probably like the biggest thing I've ever played. That had
'Cause how
like
many
the
people were
fire
there?
coming out of like you know those things where
Yeah,
they
the
like
pyrotechnics and
yeah,
all that,
yeah, and there was like full just blasting out and like the whole freaking.
Did they at least give you a
stadium.
warning about that, or you're
Yeah,
just like,
yeah,
oh
they
shit?
did. But I was like, yeah, that's freaking bad. But yeah,
That's
I think
awesome.
that's probably like the biggest show I've ever played. Like yeah, ever.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's nothing to
So
throw a stone at.
Yeah, no, it's-
I don't know if that's a saying, but you know,
It's-
yeah.
Do you throw
Poke a stick at it?
No,
Is
throw a
that-
stone is a thing as well.
Oh, I mean, cool. Sticks and stones, really.
Yeah.
Anyway, look, we're digressing, but
I digress.
we learned poke a stick at is probably the right thing. Anyway,
Okay, so I mean, yeah, let's jump into some. We've got a few questions.
Oh,
We came before
okay.
you. Yeah,
Yes.
we had a
Prepared. Love
brainstorming
to see
session
it.
because I was like, and Blake was like, it was mostly Blake. It's like, you should probably prepare a little bit more. I was like, that sounds like a good idea.
look, it's very important, and it's cool. Like, I mean,
Yeah, no, now I know what to talk about.
yes, yeah,
great.
yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's actually a really good.
Because we wouldn't really dive into, like, obviously you're new on the scene, and well, killing it for being so new.
Thank you. Thank you.
So there's a lot of questions that they're going to be coming for you.
Yes.
But our goal with this really is to be like as transparent as possible, because I find we found, at least with anything publicly, it's so much, you know, behind closed doors, that people that are up and coming,
There's so many things
don't
that
hear it.
nobody knows.
Yeah, 100%. Because I feel like if you're just looking to say like Instagram pages or something, like you only see the best of like you know what I mean. Like you never see the struggles that I go
100%.
through to like
Yeah.
actually put stuff out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you only see
Exactly.
like, oh, everything just looks so good and like wow.
Yeah.
But
And
it's like really just not like that. There's just like one side.
It's just chaotic behind.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
'cause
there's
I-
obviously a plan
yeah,
behind what you do.
yeah,
like you
yeah,
don't just sort of
100.
like post on Insta. Oh look, I have a hit song.
Yeah, because I feel like everyone's always only like posting their victory. Like no one's gonna be
Yeah.
posting
No one
like
posts the
anything.
failures.
Yeah, no one
That's-
posts that.
That's just
yeah,
not what it's for.
yeah, 100.
So, in saying that, what
Here we go.
these like, there's a few questions that are sort of like linking to each other, but I guess the first one I want to ask is, what's your process for like a song?
Oh, you know this, Jamie.
I know.
We work all the time.
But these guys don't know. They don't know that you're like, oh, what do you think about this? And I'm like, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
And then you're like, yeah, sweet.
Oh,
And
yeah,
there's
Constantly
yeah,
like
okay.
trying to get Jamie's attention. Like, do you like it? Do you like it? It's like a father that doesn't love you. Like, please, Dad, do you like this?
Well, it's
Yeah,
just-
it's cool.
I'm just so emotionalist, like all the time. I'm just like, yeah, that's cool. Yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah, you're
that's
so
that's
lax.
that's a cool idea as well.
yeah,
Every now and then, out of nowhere, I'll be like, yeah, that's fucking
yeah.
bad.
Like my telly's more like if you're moving your shoulders, I'm like, oh, he's into this.
If I'm doing these ones, just
No, he does a stank face. You go like.
Yeah.
Otherwise, yeah, he does a stank face. That's how you know that he like really
Yeah,
likes
yeah.
it. Yeah,
All right,
Oh,
so
that's good to
that's
know,
the tip.
that's good
Okay,
to know.
stank face.
stank face.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I was,
No,
just-
you
I was locked on. Like, when you play guitar,
yeah,
do you
always,
play, you go do
constantly.
guitar face?
Yeah, he
Yeah,
does.
you
Yeah.
have to, you have to.
Because the same like singing as well. Like you get the note, you're like, like have you ever watched Eurovision? So
Yeah, yeah.
Eurovision's the best. Next time you watch Eurovision, watch their eyebrows. That is the most entertaining part of Eurovision because they're like whenever they hit notes, and it's just like some sort of Tic Tac commercial going on there.
Speaking of eyebrows, yeah,
No!
yeah.
Oh my!
Oh.
Why are you not in
Eurovision.
commercials?
I know.
Eurovision
Get
is
Cadbury
unnecessary.
on me, honestly. Sponsor
Okay.
me, Cadbury.
There
I'm
needs to be a
watching this.
revamp.
And Australian government hit her up for being on Eurovision because clearly she has the brows.
Yeah, that's it.
That's
That's
incredible.
how it is.
I used to have like
Can you just do that again? Sorry, can you please do?
wow.
Oh wow.
Can you do like the Mexican wave thing? What?
Yes.
Oh my god, guys!
No.
If you're listening to the audio
What?
version, watch the YouTube version right now.
When I was like younger, you know the Cadbury ad?
Yeah.
It's like, don't,
Yes.
and I like really wanted to do it and I couldn't do it. So I would just practice it like all the time. Like I would just do it and then all of a sudden I could just do it. I think I just like trained my muscles to like, no, it's, honestly, I couldn't do it. And then I could just go like, and the next thing I was like, whoa, I can actually do it.
Because
It's
I can just
crazy.
do this eye, like I do that.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
do the one.
like the rough.
Yeah,
like the,
yeah. But like I try and do this one, I just look like I'm having a seizure. Like, I literally can't lift it.
Just looking. What are you thinking about? I'm not thinking.
I'm thinking about the left, but it ain't working.
I'm trying to move my eyebrow.
Yeah, like you try and lift the left, and the right one just gets higher and higher and higher. Like all of a sudden, my eyebrow's behind my head.
Wrong side. So yeah, I mean, apart from me making stank face, like so when I guess when we're in the studio, or when you're in the studio with any producer, because I'm not the only person in the world.
You are to me, Jamie.
Why does everyone flirt with you on this show?
It's look, it's like always, it's the beard.
It's true, actually.
Yeah. How do
Shaved.
you? So say, you know, where we go through references all the time. That's a big starting point for us. We have a Spotify playlist that we just mostly you add to, and like update all the time to see what you're listening to and what you sort of like and your sort of vibe. Now from there, say we start coming up with some chords and then a little bit of beat. What goes through your mind when you're, I guess, writing? Like, what's your like? Do you go melody first? Do you go
Yeah,
verse
I think
first?
I go melody first, but like I don't feel like I don't just sing like melodies without lyrics. Like they come together, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
my melodies come with like the phrasing,
Yeah.
so it doesn't like it's not specifically like a word. It could just be like a sound of a word. You know what I mean?
Like a vowel.
Like a
sound or
vowel,
something.
yeah, like a vowel. It won't come with like.
So you
the
sort of
full-
like ad-lib in a way? Just
Yeah, I kind of just like I like have a melody in my head, and then I'll like keep going till I have like just the sentence of that,
Yeah.
and then I usually track it. Yeah, but I feel like a lot of the time when we work together, I'll like take like so I try not to waste as much time in our sessions.
Yeah.
So I'll like write at home, and I'll like have like a whole bunch of like songs that I've like written, and then they have no like tracks or anything to it, and then I'll come into the studio. And then like when we're working on something, like I could either like I'll rewrite things, and then I'll take the notes that I have and be like, oh, this could actually sound sick on this. So it's just like it's just way more productive that way.
100%.
Like coming prepared to the
Yeah,
sessions. Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. So that's how I feel like I work like that as well.
Yeah.
And then also like a lot of the time you just send me beats or like guitars and stuff, and then I'll write at home. Yeah.
And do you find like is there like do you have even with like the ad-libbing part, do you like sit down and sort of vibe, or is it like you have the beat playing in the background of, you know, you're driving and you're just like, you know, blah blah, blah. Oh shit, that sort of sticks.
Yeah, I feel
Or
like I
shower.
just it's kind of just like freestyling on like the beat, especially like when we work. You usually play it, and then I'll just be like freestyling, so whatever sticks, I just like write it down. Yeah,
Cool.
yeah, that's how I work. I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
no,
more
that's
organic, I feel.
yeah,
as well.
yeah, I reckon.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, I like that. That's nice to know. Fabulous.
Do you have like any I mean, obviously a lot of some artists tend to gravitate towards certain topics. Do you find it's usually like something relevant for you at the time, or do you try and like deliberately hit a certain topic? Is there anything like that?
I feel like I talk about things that I personally like am experiencing at that time.
Yeah.
Or like when I first started doing music, like especially I would try and write about like my identity, like where I'm from, you know, like what kind of person I am, because it kind of made me like helped me make sense of like the world and like who I am, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I feel like I have a bunch of songs, especially ones that aren't out yet, and they kind of like make sense to like who I am. And then the more I'm writing now, I can see it's developing and changing, because it's like I'm constantly changing as a person. Yeah, so that's why I feel like I just write as like what I'm feeling then. But sometimes like you never know, like sometimes I have songs that I just like write which I'm not like connected to 100%, but it's just like you never know, like could have that, and one day that might make sense, or even like I might write it and it might fit another artist, you know. Yeah, so I think I'm right. I usually write to like what I feel at the time.
Yeah. And so you said you write for artists. Do you write for artists as well, do you?
Well, I haven't pitched songs to artists, but I have a lot of songs that probably would fit other artists.
That's cool. That's cool.
I kind of just like to get ideas down, whether they're for me or not.
Yeah.
Like if I can write it, I'm like, this is good, but it won't fit my sound or like the direction I'm going, you know. Like so, I'll just like make it anyways. Like you know, like we just make songs, and then it's just like, oh, I probably will never put this out, but it will probably fit this kind of artist or this.
That sounds like a really smart option too, because you think of like Ed Sheeran, like probably the majority of his money he's made outside of his own stuff.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
like that's
yeah.
probably a cool idea for you to diversify and keep you doing what you love, which is obviously music.
Yeah. And I
That's
feel like
smart,
it's just like constantly like, you know, practicing your, like for me,
Honing your craft.
the one thing I'm actually like really good at is songwriting.
Yeah.
More than like like playing instruments or anything. Like songwriting is my thing. So it's like, you know, there's always
Why not
like
continue?
yeah, why not just keep practicing it, you know? Yeah.
No, that's mad. I was talking to
cool.
somebody else like about this sort of thing, and like it's really great at the moment to see so many artists taking on board this whole thing of having a catalog of stuff. And it's beautiful because it helps you in so many ways, because it hones your craft. You know, you get better at your skills, and you have basically a timeline showing how you've progressed and like, you know, where you started from and where you ended up. And what you'll then start to see is like the you end up honing in on something. Unless the you know, the reason is to experiment and diversify and try write to like completely different styles of tracks that you've never written to before. But like the one thing I feel like that is stopping a lot of people is they're just demos, or they're just a verse or just a chorus, and like they're not fully finished. And I think one of the most important things these days is to actually start finishing stuff. Like we're going through it at the moment. Like we've got so many tracks that like are almost there. Like almost finished. They're like just that little bit away, but it's like
that second verse.
that second verse, or you know, just finishing off this vocal line, or just adding those backing vocals, or you know, just finishing off the production, and then it's done. It's there. All it needs to be done is sent to mix and master.
Well, that'll start tweaking you. Like that action will tweak your behavioral habit too.
Yeah, exactly.
Because you know, like there's always those one people like if you get caught in that habit of doing something 80%, mentally it is very hard to actually complete something. Whereas if you have all those mini wins where it's like, I complete a song, even if you're not 100% happy with it, you get used to completing a song.
Finish it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like with their catalog, it's bam, like holy shit, I got like 100 songs in there. What?
Yeah. And it's not 100 ideas or it's 100 demos. It's like you've got 100 songs.
Yeah.
Whether it's for you, whether you end up using them, whether they're for somebody else, or that's
It's just like a way stronger batch as well than having like 100 of like half finished songs. Yeah.
Well, I mean, and you know, obviously there's those songs that like it'll be like you hear when you hear the song, you hear your writing, or you know, you hear something that you've done. You're like, this would be perfect if I had somebody else do something on this song. Like if there was a feature artist.
A batch is really good to like be able to have it and then look like from a distance and be like, oh yeah, this is what this song would like be really good to come out now, and then this song is good to save later. Rather than just like making a song and then putting it out. Because I felt like when I started doing music, I didn't realize like having a batch was so important until I took on like new management and had like a new team. Like I would just make songs and be like, yeah, I'm gonna put this out next. But then I didn't realize, you know, like having a batch is so important. Yeah.
Well, you think of someone like Prince. Like when Prince passed away, huge legal value, legal battle. No, I shouldn't do rap. And he had 2,000 songs unreleased. 2,000.
That would be me when I die.
Come on, let's reach for the stars. 3,000.
But when you think like that, that is a lot of songs. Like
so many songs.
Like, what? That's
think about average of 3 minutes.
Well, he could release a song for every day for like 6 years straight.
Insane. It's insanity. Insanity.
But I want to know how he wrote those. But anyway, that's cool.
He wrote a song every single day for 6 years.
Yeah.
That's how he did it.
That's hectic.
But again, like if you need, it's like, hey, we need to release a Prince album, even though he's passed away. Like you could literally go, all right, cool, let's look at this, bang, and then monetizing
Yeah,
that.
because also it's like you could make 50 songs, like 4 or 5 of them are going to be like absolute bangers, you know what I mean? Where it's like if you just make like 3 songs, you're just going to like be like,
none of them could be bangers.
Yeah, your perspective is going to be different on them, you know?
100%.
Yeah, because I feel like and the more music you make, the more better you get.
Yeah. Definitely.
And you would start at like a bit like how marketers work with like funnel. So you have like a lot of, say 50 half good one or 50 half done songs, and then you can go through them and be like, all right, sweet, 30 of these work. Cut off that, then you go funnel down, do another 40% of the next, like those ones. Then you're like, all right, cool, now 10's working. So that's a cool technique too.
Yeah.
So you got to love the batch.
Yeah, definitely. One thing I was gonna ask is, because you yourself have a batch, we've been working on a batch for a while now.
This word's starting to creep me out now.
Batch.
Just building up that batch.
Do you find when you go look through your list, see, changed it. Yeah. When you look through your catalog, your list of songs that you've got, do you find that that you sort of focused in on a certain, like you found your sound, I guess? Like,
yeah,
or
I
is
reckon.
it more like, do you think it's more for the moment, that sound?
I think like,
How do you feel about
well, for my sound, I feel like it's always going to be changing. I feel like now I have my sound for now.
it? Yeah.
But I feel like I put a project out and then, you always got to keep changing your sound to keep
for
it
sure.
interesting for people.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, so
And
it's
for
just
yourself.
like, you can't just keep doing the same kind of songs like forever. It's kind of interesting
gotta
to
grow,
keep, changing. But yeah, I feel like we like have a sound, especially for my stuff. But like to find that sound, it took me making the whole batch
Yeah.
to realize that.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Because even before the batch that I have now, like I have a certain batch, which is like I'll probably put all of these songs out eventually. But I have an even bigger batch
Yeah.
where like, I don't know, like 50% of those songs I just like,
Yeah.
they just scrapped.
Yeah.
Like I'll give them to somebody else, they just don't fit me.
Yeah, 100%.
But it took me making all of those really bad songs to realize that, this is the direction I wanted to go. I had to try everything out before.
100%.
For sure,
Before I was like, like I never just was like, I'm going to do this. Like I had to try everything first. Yeah.
Do you think that the songs you've written shape how you dress, how you present yourself, how you go out in public? Or do
100.
you think the other way? Like what works for you? Do you make music?
That is a good question.
That was actually a really good question.
Yeah, because it's always like, I mean, for me, it's like, okay, well, people have a brand. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you're an artist, but you're a business. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like you as an artist, you as Becca Hatch, or is it Becca Hatch? isn't
Yeah.
it? You're essentially a business.
Yeah.
So you have the face, which is you, and what what you wear, and everything that goes with that, colors you wear, things like that. Do you think that there's a certain like which way do you think it goes? Do you think you make music because of that, or do you think more that ends up becoming because of the music? Like, is there a correlation?
I
at
feel like
all?
they correlate with each other, but I feel like for me specifically, like I developed my brand first.
Yeah.
And having that brand developed and understanding like who I am, like I came from here, this made me like this makes me act like this because I'm from this area.
Yeah.
I talk a certain way, I dress a certain way because I'm exposed to this kind of culture.
Yeah.
And I grew up with this culture. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for
So
sure.
having that helped me write music, which helps explain who I am.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
And it kind of like comes across in the music like, the type of like sound, R&B.
Yeah.
And then like, I feel like having that brand first developed helped me make the kind of music that I make.
Right. Yeah, okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah,
100%.
definitely.
Yeah.
It's good to know because I mean, like, brand is one thing I talk to, but
We
you're
say it on here all the time.
yeah, and you're fortunate to have a team behind you like
Yeah.
Rick and Solo and Willie and
Yeah.
all those
Shout
who
out, guys.
shout
Shout
out
out to my
shout out the
team.
boys, that like help you and guide
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
and really stress the important facts and help you like understand those important facts.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas-
Without, like, I need 100% without my team, like, I probably wouldn't have been able to develop my brand. Like, team's so important.
Yeah.
Because you're unsigned technically, and I think that's something people really. It's interesting for a lot of people because people think unsigned, they think solo, like you're doing everything yourself.
Yeah.
Whereas unsigned just literally just
Yeah.
means you don't have a label that you're signed to.
Yeah.
So with that, like, could we dive into like obviously you have a team? What's that team look like? What do they give you? Because anyone who's unsigned is going to be like, oh shit, I need to find these people. It's not just me on my
Yeah.
own.
Yeah, well, just because like I don't have a label doesn't mean I don't have like a team, I have like management is very important. Like you need management. Like for me, I'm very lucky that my manager, Rick, like he's really good at developing people's brands. So he helped me develop my brand.
Yeah.
So that was one thing that he helped me guide me to the right people. He introduced me to like my team. He introduced me to Jamie,
That's true.
to Willstar, to Solo. So that was like your manager should be able to do those things, introduce you to people and help you understand who you are and develop yourself as an artist. Yeah. So that's what my manager could do for me. Then I have my team like Jamie, Willstar, Solo, Milan, which are able to help create a sound, which is different to other people. Like I guess everything that you guys bring, like you can bring. I feel like you help my things, like my music sound more feminine. Milan like more R&B like that.
No, but it's like,
it's actually true. It's true.
It's never been described like that.
Yeah, no, Willstar helps. Like everyone has their own taste in music and their own style. So adding it all together, it's kind of helps me create something that's different.
Yeah,
probably if I just worked with one person, it would probably be way different sound, you know. And then
with your manager, just quickly, so with the manager, what were the things that you looked out for, and what made you choose the manager that you have versus others?
Well, one important thing for me was like having someone that understands like where I'm from and understands how to actually, you know, like communicate with me properly. I feel like a lot of the time it can be really hard, like talking to people from the industry, especially as like a brown girl. Like, you know, like it's kind of hard because like people don't understand like area culture. You're not from the same hood as I am. Like, you know, you don't talk the same way. You don't really understand when I talk about R&B or hip hop. You know, especially in Australia, it can be really hard. Yeah, so for me, it's like my manager grew up in a similar area to me, so he was able to like connect in that kind of way. And also like you just got to really trust your manager, you know. Like I worked with Rick for a while without actually being like, yeah, this is my manager now. Like we just worked together on different ideas, testing things out before being like, yeah, okay, like you're gonna manage me.
Yeah, so
don't
jump in
you don't
straight
just
away.
jump into things, you know,
Yeah.
because you never know. Like even he might not want to work with me after work, like after just testing it out for like a few months. So we worked together. We kind of like got to a point where like, yeah, we're like before just being managed, like being my manager. It's like he's my friend. Like I can trust him as a friend.
So that's a big thing.
Yeah, you got to be actually able to trust your team. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
So my team, I feel like my team's like family to me.
Yeah. Well, that's good because obviously, I mean, they use that term deal heat. So it's like when you're talking to someone like your manager the first time you've met them, there's that fear of, oh shit, if I don't sign with them, I'll lose them forever. Like, and it's that deal heat of I need to do it now. So that's that's the thing that I think anyone can take away is what you did was you didn't have deal heat. You know that there was other options. It was trialing first and think long term because you realized, okay, this has now become a friendship. I can trust him. I know that he knows his shit. And then you were like, all right, sick, done.
And then so I have like you guys producers which help me with my sound, Rick, and then I also have someone that helps like on the visual side. So she does like my artwork, my promo. So it's like my brother's partner, her name's Liana Lewis. She's a crazy graphic designer. So she helps me a lot with like my artwork and stuff. She's like a female. Like we met obviously because of my brother. But yeah, like she's my family already. So having her like really helps just like, you know, like she helps me with my artwork, but then when it comes to videos with working with different people that film videos, she's able to say, well, this is artwork. Your videos need to match the visual side of like what we're creating here, you know. And she works with Rick as well with my brand. She is like the visual side of like what his ideas are. Like she needs to be seen like this. Then she can take that and go into visually like her artworks need to look like this and look like this, you know.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Sounds like a pretty good team around.
Yeah, solid team.
That's something to explain the success.
Yeah,
that's good.
Yeah, because I mean, speaking of like, I mean, like the obviously like on Spotify and stuff, you know, like you haven't really done like super promo stuff for the songs that you released, like 2560 and Girl Like Me. It was like super organic, hey?
Yeah, everything's been pretty organic. Like, especially we don't have a label behind us. It's all just, I think a lot of it was just like putting out music and then testing the waters and being like, hey, people actually like, will they like this sound?
Yeah, sure.
And putting out that first 2560, it was like, yeah, okay, this is vibe. We'll just keep going in this direction. Yeah.
And what did you derive from with 2560? Why people liked it and how? Because obviously, like, I mean, you can have a banger song, but if you can't reach anyone, you can probably you might think, oh, this was a shit song, but it's 10 people only heard it, and those 10 are into like rock, not not R&B. So how did you figure out, one, how to get it the reach, and then what were the things that you were looking for other than just streams that made you go, all right, this is a pretty good song that people connect to?
Well, like I've been doing music for a while, and like I kind of have a bit of support from Triple J. So I know Triple J will support my stuff. Put on Triple J Unearthed. I know that like people can find it there from the industry and they can help play it. But then I also had like a pretty decent following, nothing crazy, but enough to know that if you guys all listen to my song a few times, I would get a decent amount of streams.
Yeah.
So that's how I thought. It's like I already have kind of a following. I can just put music out there and trust that the people that follow me now are like the first supporters before I get any sort of crazy following.
Yeah,
so I know that they're actually invested in listening to what comes out.
And that's important. That's cool.
Yeah. So I guess I kind of just put music out, and I think the reason people like it maybe is because it's not too serious. It's very easy to listen to. It's like very accessible for a lot of people. I think like coming from the area, a lot of music can be very like staunch, and I like people love that. I love that, you know. But
Like
I
drill
think
and stuff?
yeah,
That's really poppin'.
yeah. I think so. Then I think like taking that and being like, oh, like making it chill version, like a lot more happier. You know,
Yeah.
I think it's more fresh. It hasn't been done before, so yeah. And I think the sound's pretty fresh too. I don't think there's many people doing this here in Australia. Yeah, here in Australia. Yeah.
Because I mean, that's what I mean. That's something like when we have sessions where it's like Wilster solo and I and you all in the same room. It's something that we really try and work on. It's like, okay, well, like cool, like we'll have a basic idea, which most of the time is just like chords, basic drum groove that we've done here, and like the vocals, and then we'll go and with Wilster and solo, we'll be like, okay, well, like how can we like. For lack of a better word, how can we fuck this up? Like, how can we go in on this and be like completely different to everything that everyone's doing right now? Like, where are we drawing our inspiration from? How are we moving the music? How are we making making a change?
Yeah.
Which I think is super important. You know, like that whole like it. You know, it's work for artists where you have one producer and one artist, and they're like. It's just those two, like they're on the come up, they come up together, you know, it's amazing. But some like collaboration is so important. And that was one of the first things Rick asked me before we did our first session. Oh no, it was when we did our first session. Afterwards, he was like, so how do you feel about working with other producers and like, you know, if other producers were going to do stuff? And I was like, man, that's, you know, it's great. Like sometimes you need that, you know, like I can make music and my music sounds good, but like, you know, sometimes somebody's fresh ears on a certain thing, a different drum pattern, you know, a different drum sound, like better sound, you know, like experience in other areas can make something completely different.
Yeah,
really
I feel
progress.
like for me being put in like a room with you guys, like I feel like I had like my perspective on things, but then being able to hear other people's ideas, it really helps, you know, like develop yourself and grow as an artist. That's how I feel like that's what you guys help me with, you know.
And likewise.
Well, it's good, yeah, because I mean, it's very easy, especially when, I mean, art can get ego driven for sure.
Yeah.
And I know, like, I mean, it's very easy for people to get stuck, you know, working your own because, like, everyone's going to keep saying yes to yourself when it's only you in the room.
Yeah.
So that's, you know, another point. It's really cool that you guys are always putting everyone's ego up, but also bashing it down when it needs to, like, you know, I mean, all right, that sucks. Let's try this. And
I think it's funny that you say that sucks because it's never like that. You know what I mean? There's never a point of like, no, that's shit. There's never a negative. It's always just, can we make this better? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's the way you go into it. So, you know, like, because obviously we're not trying to bash people down and be like, that's shit.
I don't mean like taking it. Like,
No, but
tell her you're a shit person.
But I mean, at the end of the day, like we are creatives. This is our ego. You know, like, if somebody says your stuff isn't great, if you don't have a thick skin, it can affect you a lot. And so, you know, like I was talking to someone the other day about like session etiquette. Like when you're in a session with an artist or a producer.
All right, go on.
You know,
I like this. Yeah.
and there's just things like we said in one of the previous ones about 5 things you should do before you go into a room with a producer or whatever. There's a way that you can chat to and offer advice in a session, or offer ideas where it's a nurturing environment. And this isn't just because we're trying to like save people's egos and, tread carefully around their egos, but it's like it's every room you walk into, there's a vibe, there's an energy. And like, are you a person who adds to that energy, or are you a person who tries to take away and take over that energy? And I feel like that's super important. And obviously the aim is to add, not take away, and not to take over either. So, and I think that's from my experience anyway, working with like the team that we work with, it's always just like, cool, mad. Like, let's make this better. It's always just, it's never about, you know, that sucks or that's not good. It's just like, okay, well, maybe we can make it a bit better.
Yeah, and it's also a lot of the time with like some of the songs, it's like they're good songs, and then it's like, but how will we make this suit the artist more?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, that's what I reckon.
Yeah, that's very true as well. It's like, you know, these are all good songs, but how do they fit into the grand scheme of the project or the rest of the songs that you've released?
I feel like we've made a bunch of songs, and then I've been like, this does not fit anything that I'll probably ever release. I'll probably never release this kind of music. And then we'll just like take the like vocals out and then just reproduce the whole song.
Happens so often. It'll just be like,
like all
that's
the
cool.
time.
Okay, acapella, take that, new session. What can we do? It's like
Then you add a beat under it, then change the lyrics, like just different song entirely.
Well, sometimes, yeah. Other times it's like, okay, we'll speed it up or we'll slow it down, so then we have to redo the vocals and things like that. But you know, like that's all. You know, trial and error is such an important part. But what I did want to say, because I kept going away from it, is I feel like there's no real ego in our sessions. Which is, you know, like I've been
Only yours, not
obviously.
I have an ego.
I'm the best. You know.
You're like the most egoless person I've ever known.
Thank you.
It's
I
true. It's
appreciate
true.
that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, is it anyway, that's a different conversation. Is that good? No, but you know, like it's super important to, you know, like when you go into situations like that, it's like, you know the room and you know, if you're all collaborating together to get the best product out of it as well, put your ego aside and think what's best for that project, for that artist, for that song. Like, you know, have a little bit of logic towards how you're thinking about stuff.
I've got a good question.
Yes.
I just told myself I had a good question. I have a question that might be good in your opinion.
Ego.
I'm patting myself on my back about my question. Anyway, oh shit! Now I'll throw myself off. Okay, the question was, with COVID obviously happening, like, I mean, it's really turned everything upside down. Obviously, you can't tour, do shows, whatever. What is your plan at the moment, and what's your team come up with for a strategy with the unknown and what you do know that's coming up in the future?
Well, I don't think I really have any like crazy shows coming up. Like I didn't really do any like live stream sets. Oh, well, I did one last night, but like that doesn't count. But like I didn't really have any like live stream sets. Like, you know, ones that I was like, yeah, I'm going to perform like my next song here. I never really, like that wasn't really like my kind of thing. I just... I don't know, it's just not really my vibe.
And performing on a Zoom is not as cool as
it's just not the same. So like we have a few like ideas coming up with like releasing new music, but I guess that's like the big struggle about COVID is like things get old really quickly with like so much news coming out. Like I felt like when I released music earlier this year before COVID, like it lasted way longer and like my socials were just constantly growing. Whereas like when I released my second song, it was like in the middle, like we filmed the music video and then everyone went to lockdown and then we dropped it while everyone was in lockdown. It was like a vibe and then like it got so old quickly because there's so much happening all the time. Yeah. You know, like the news is just like constantly up. Yeah, it's kind of like, there's like too much going on to be able to get the attention of everybody. So we like have some songs that we probably will like put out, but I don't know if I have any. Well, I don't know if I'm just not aware of like the plan.
Well, no, you don't even know. That's interesting because that's I mean that'd be the opposite of what a lot of people are thinking. Like, oh, you know, I'll use this time to, because we've been saying like just release a song like every month. But is it perhaps a better option to build up your catalog and when the craziness has calmed down, then you hit them with like a song every month?
But then sometimes like what I was thinking about was like once everything calms down, you're going to be fighting for the attention still because all the artists are going to be putting out music 100%. Left, right and center. It's going to be hard to even do shows. Everyone's going to be wanting to do shows.
Everyone's going to be gunning for the same
shit. So it's going to be way harder.
You could possibly use this time though to create a batch. Nice. So, thanks. But what you could do, like, and this is just me shooting the shit, like film a backlog of film clips and songs and all that, and then you're ready to then be like just pop, and then release them. And because you're not focusing on the time of filming and recording, you're now focused while that's doing that stuff, the promotion for your music, you're putting your energy into a show and promoting a show while that's simultaneously marketing it. That could be a potential idea.
I feel like with all of this going on, like I felt like I kind of spent this time to just do my batch. Like I felt like my batch grew from like the start of this year, like when everything hit to like now, because I feel like that was the only thing I could do was like develop myself and just like try out different forms of art. Like I've just been like drawing heaps and like doing like illustrations and stuff. Yeah, so I feel like this time has just been able to like just develop myself. Yeah.
Have you? We spoke about this the other day. Like, you know, having like, because there's no shows and there's no new things happening. Like let's be fair. How are you at the moment, or are you getting new experiences? Like what are you doing to like, you know, say you get stuck writing or whatever, like what's do you have
it's kind of
do you
hard
have something that you've started doing to like
I kind of feel like I just have a break
from
I feel like sometimes it can be a bit much to just be like, I need to make music like every single day. Like sometimes it's like, man, I just need a break. I just need to sleep.
Just let me sleep.
I just
for
need
once.
to go just chill out for like a week, because I feel like sometimes it can be really straining to just be making music non-stop. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta live your life and just like.
And sometimes your great ideas come when you're not thinking. Like if you're driving, you're like, dang, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
100%.
I feel like maybe to answer your question before, like one thing that we did do was Triple J, like a version. Yeah. So that was something that was really cool to do during this time to keep like momentum.
Yeah, 100%.
Because like obviously we can't play shows, so doing the like version was a great way to like you know like grow my following, like get people into my music and stuff. So.
How was that experience?
Yeah, that was really a really sick experience. Like, I reckon I was mad. That was like one of the things that I set like as a goal last year. I was like, next year I'm gonna do it like a version. And then so I was so hyped when I got the email. I was like, yes.
That's mad. Because do you put yourself forward, or do they contact you? Like how? I still have no idea how it works.
They contact you.
Yeah, right.
But I don't know. I don't know if that's like all.
Yeah, right.
Like all people, like maybe.
Could be like your manager.
Yeah, it could be your manager hitting
them
them up. Yeah. Okay. So I don't know. I knew that they contacted me about that. Yeah.
So what was that?
Okay.
So when you got that email, was it just? So yeah, when like what with like a version, like once you got that email, what was your? I guess after that, was it like, all right, shit, I need to find people to do the version with, and then what do we do the song, and then from that email to actually being on camera at like a version, what was that timeline?
Well, I had like a song that I wanted to do for like, well, the idea that I had the whole time was I'm going to do an Aussie song, which is like an artist that is nothing like me. So we did John Barnum. Well, like
he's
completely,
a very different artist.
He's a very different artist, but we'll flip the song to make it like we wrote the song, to make the whole vibe. Like when people listen to it, if I said I wrote this song, people would believe it. That's like, I guess that's the whole. That was my perspective.
Approach.
Yeah, that was like my perspective on like a version. So then I had that idea, I picked that song, and then we got into the studio. Like we came here, and then we tried out so many different like ways to do it. Like first we were like, let's do a neo soul version. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
And it took us like so many hours. We're like, doesn't sound right. Doesn't sound right.
None of this sounds good.
And then we kind of thought.
Constructive criticism, not bad.
Guys,
okay?
I mean, sometimes you gotta be real and just be like, this.
Oh, so what you're saying is you can say something sucks.
Yeah, but I was saying it to myself.
Yeah, no, and then like it just didn't fit. And then I guess we kind of thought about elements of like my music. So then we took the drums from my like similar type of drums like that in the music that I have out now, and then we put a vocal chop in it, and that was like those are like two main elements of like a lot of my music, vocal chops and like the drums, you know. And then we got our like team together. The only thing that sucked is because COVID we had restrictions. So like usually
what were they?
Yeah, so we could only have like, at first, it was only 4 people, including myself. Right. So 3 people playing. And then as like restrictions eased, it was like 4 other people and like 5, including myself. So then we ended up like I think the easiest way to do it was just getting the team that normally work on my stuff because like you guys already know how to do everything. Yeah. Yeah, so I just got you, Worldstar, Souls, and Milan. You're like all the producers.
So
like,
just a bunch of friends
yeah,
jamming
it was so
around.
funny.
Pretty much.
Yeah, it was so funny because like Worldstar was cracking me up. He's like, haven't played live before. He's like the craziest keys player.
He's
and
insane.
he's crazy, and he's
Insane.
never
He
played
doesn't play
live.
live?
No, and then
Wow.
and he was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm dropping my balls," and I was like, "Well, sorry, you freaking create like bangers,
Yeah.
like for all these freaking massive artists," and he's got scared to play my Like version. I was like, "What?"
It probably is very different when you know, like, if you fuck up, like, it's not like a producing studio where you're like,
Yeah.
oh, what up? You know, put that back to the
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he was like. He was
Yeah.
like, in the studio, I can just do it again. It doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
it's
But
true.
here, it's just like, I have to do it.
Yeah, no, but yeah, and then we just had that, and then we had like, I think 3 practices.
3 rehearsals, yeah.
3 rehearsals,
That's
like 3,
all.
4 hour, yeah, and then
Yeah, that was an early morning.
yeah, it was really early morning.
8 a.m.
But that was a really good experience. So yeah, I like that. It was really good.
That's cool. And have you done a second one since?
No, that was
No,
That wasn't-
yeah, the one I'm seeing. I think I didn't see you in that clip.
Which one?
I saw like a version one with you. I don't know. Maybe I'm just wigging out.
there were 2 there were 2
There was 2
videos.
songs.
There was 2560
okay.
and then Burn For You. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was in both. I was
Yeah.
in both of them.
Yeah,
Maybe I-
But I was
everyone was
probably.
in-
I mean, the start of the clips you can't really see me. You might just see.
Yeah,
my
because he
beard.
has the camera focuses on like everyone.
And so
with
that
it.
section alone is popped.
Mm.
So many people talk about like a version, like
Well, and it's something artists, like aspire to do, and it's like it's
Yeah.
like it's a like a, I guess it's like
It's like a milestone.
it's a milestone
in, like,
for an Australian artist to be on.
Yeah, for an Aussie artist, it's like one of the things like you have to do.
yeah, and some really cool covers. Like besides
Yeah.
yours, obviously, but it's, really cool covers that come out. Where you're just
Yeah.
like, what the?
My favorite is Adrian Eagles' version
That
of
was mad.
of
it Confident?
Confidence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
crazy.
such a good version.
I have to listen to that one. Write that down.
No, I will tell you.
That's
It's-
all right.
it's-
When
it's
I'm
mad.
editing this, I'll be like, oh yeah, cool. But no, that advice you said was really cool. Like how, if anyone can take one thing away from this conversation, it's definitely like your advice of rewriting it so that if you told someone this is my song, they believe it. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
I
I
think
feel like
that's
a lot of artists can take that away. If you guys ever get a version, take that one piece of advice from Becca Hatch.
Yeah, I think that's a smart way. That's a smart way to look at it because it's like, well, at the end of the day, you're doing it like it's a cover.
Yeah.
You're doing a version of somebody else's song.
Yeah,
It's like,
and I guess like the whole version, like the whole idea of like a version is like taking a song and then making it like your own.
yeah. for
Yeah.
Could you
Yeah,
do that
I
with
think-
your like technique? Because I know when Jamie used to do, you used to do covers as well.
Yeah.
And after a while, you're like, shit, I may as well just rewrite my own lyrics and get all the royalties for this song myself.
Well,
Have you
I
ever
mean-
tried that technique? Like, as in, like, make a version, use the lyrics for one song as an example, and then completely rewrite the lyrics.
I do that sometimes where I'll use a acapella to make a beat and then just
Oh,
get
yeah.
rid of the acapella.
I've never done that for myself,
Yeah.
but
Could be a cool
I've
experiment.
like it could be cool. I've like used like reference songs to be
Yeah.
like I want to make a song like this. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't think I've ever done that before.
Yeah.
New little project for you.
No, that's
Yeah.
cool.
There was something else I really wanted to ask, and I can't find the note. Maybe I didn't write it down. But that's cool. Nah, we got everything.
No.
You are like, hey, I've had a lot of fun. I feel like I just want to get to know Becca Hatch though, besides just the music. Tell us like a random fact that no one would know.
Oh, I feel like I'm pretty open book. I don't know if there's anything like people don't know about me.
She loves
Like, I
Japanese
don't-
pancakes.
Japanese pancakes?
Oh yeah, I love those. Yeah.
Explain. What is a Japanese pancake?
It's like they're made with like egg whites.
Yeah.
Like, and they whip them.
Yeah,
And then
so
they're
just in the
like
pancake
really
batter,
soft,
so they're
like,
super fluffy and big.
yeah, and like
Are
if
they
you like
generally
flicked it, it
small?
was like, yeah, it like,
I think we had one, but it was in Chinatown. And can you make like a little ice cream sandwich out
Yeah.
of
Yeah,
it?
that's what they do.
Oh my god!
we ordered them here. I think there's some near here.
Yeah, there's a
There's
shop near here.
okay, because there's one in Burwood, and like
Yeah,
just-
so good.
Yeah, it's so
it
good.
is.
Yeah.
It's okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm on I'm gonna page you that one. Those are incredible. And I don't know, the place we're at, they're perfect. Like this lady has somehow made them, and it's like, if you think the perfect circle doesn't exist, go to this place. It's like
this
she just
pancake.
goes bloop, 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 and all of them are
Oh
just
my gosh.
smack bang perfect, probably about that thick or thin, and they put them in the ice and like
Oh,
between
dude,
ice cream.
these- These are like
Yeah, these ones are thick.
That's not a pancake. That's a sandwich.
that's one side. There's
Wait,
two
what?
of them. They're like
You have to try it. It's really good.
All right, we'll have to go there for sure.
yeah, they're
And that's
so
near here.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Uber Eats.
Uber Eats. All right, I'll take you guys there, and you go and Boa because this place is just amazing.
That's so good.
Cool.
Sounds delicious.
Wicked.
Well, I mean, thank you for coming on, man.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Thanks
It's
for
nice to
having
get
me.
like, a fair bit of insight to.
Lots of fun.
Yeah.
No dead space.
No, it was really
That's
good.
always good. That's always a good podcast.
I thoroughly enjoyed that.
Yeah. So obviously, where can we find, or where can these new fans find you guys on socials? Look straight in the camera and just stare them down the eyes.
You can find me on socials at Becca X Hatch, and my Spotify and Apple Music is just Becca Hatch.
Sweet, easy.
Awesome.
And listen to 2560
And Girl Like Me.
and Girl Like Me. Yes.
And all the songs.
All right, guys. Well, cool.
Awesome.
Thank you for watching. Make sure to hit that like button because that will help a lot with the algorithm. Also, hit the subscribe button because you don't want to miss out on other cool people like Becca. Becca will probably be back on, let's face it. We had a lot of fun. And thanks so much for being on.
Thank you so much, man.
Anytime.
All right.
Awesome.
See you guys.
Sweet.
Peace.